Welcome to our unit on Rosemaling, a Nordic tradition and style of painting. Today we're going to be looking at how to create your templates or your basic ideas. We're going to use some sort of a tracing device. This one happens to be a bowl. You might have a lid from an ice cream box, or you might even be lucky enough to have a compass to do this with. But we want a nice sized circle that we're going to do. And I'm going to do everything in pencil today, because there might be a lot of erasing involved. I'm going to trace my circle first, so I have this nice space in here to see. I'm also going to grab a sheet of white paper or a white backboard to put underneath today so that you guys can see a little bit better. If your surface makes it difficult to see, you might want to put a piece of white paper underneath as well. When we're looking at Rosemaling, it tends to be a floral pattern or design, so I'm going to start with a flower. Now, you can do a radial one that starts in the center and works its way out. It might even be equal all the way around or the same. Or you can do one that starts on the side and sort of wraps around. There's lots of different options for this. You don't have to follow my exact same idea. We all have our own ideas when we're working on these types of things. But I'm going to start out with my focus piece, which is the flower itself. I'm going to keep things nice and rounded because, as we've seen on some of the demonstrations and the videos, that's exactly what they like to do to help keep the colors flowing in there. I'm going to add in some leaves in between. I want to keep them sort of focused on curving around the edges of my plate to keep that flow. Now today we're not actually doing any of the painting of this. This is just our planning phase so that we can see if this is going to look like what we would hope to have come out of our imagination. We're going to check to make sure it doesn't get too busy and that it's not too simple. We want it just in between in that nice comfort zone where we're really making sure we're balancing it. It's not too lopsided. And we're going to be able to use nice, easy brush strokes. Remember, we're going to keep that nice chiseled brush when we're working on most of this. We're not going to use too much of our round brush, but if we did use some of our round brush, it might fall into places like that, right? I come back in and around, and then since this is my main focus on this side, I'm going to be sure on this side that I have some follow-up or some added interest. Notice I'm taking my time while I'm drawing. I'm trying to space things out evenly. I'm using my eyes far back from my paper. I'm not getting my head really close so that I can judge the distance between these. Oh, that one got a little short. And like that. Once I'm happy with the way my design looks and that I feel like it fills the plate and gives me that overall look, I'm going to make sure that my name goes on it. I'm going to put it in my portfolio for next class when we transfer this design onto the actual painting surface. So now I'm going to take my Rosemaling design from last time and I'm going to transfer it onto my cardstock surface. We actually got some poster board for this one, nice and thick, because we're going to be adding quite a few layers of paint. Excuse me. So I want to make sure it's going to fit on that surface. I'm going to use my same tracing device for my new surface so that I know it's the same size to give me a template of where it's going to rest. And then I will line up the outside of this with the one that I just put under there to make sure it still matches, which it does. I want to turn this over, and I'm going to use a different color other than my pencil. Colored pencils work really well. And I am going to color on the back side of this. And I'm pushing pretty firm, and as you can see, when I push pretty firm on there, it transfers that design over to the other surface. I have to be careful I don't let this paper slip though, because we want them to stay lined up where they are on that outside loop of the plate, don't we? Now when I pull this off, I have a transferred design on here that I can paint on top of. It's a mirror image of my other one, but that's okay because it still has that nice balanced look.